me switch and say good morning to you. Today is Monday, the very last day of October, and I gotta switch up. I'm running a little bit late, only because I left my laptop at home. So just being transparent, I left my laptop all the way at home, but I'm here. It is October the 31st, the very last day of October. Some want to celebrate Halloween. However you do it is how you do it. No judgment on you. That's just how you do it. So, like always, we're going to start in gratitude, and I want to say good morning because if I can say good morning to you, I know you can say good morning to me because I'm happy that you're alive. I'm happy that you're present. I'm happy that you're able to breathe. I'm happy that you survived the weekend because there may be someone who did not survive the weekend, and however they did it is how they do it. Games with the Gems. Okay, that's a new name unless somebody changed their name. But Games with the Gems, I'm glad you're here. I'm very happy that you're able to breathe. I'm happy that I'm able to see you and you're able to see me. And I want nothing but the best for you, as well as I hope that you want nothing but the best for me. Queenie, okay, Queenie, Gems. She got she got a new name, Gems with the Gems. I got you, Queenie. All right. So today we're going to be closing out the month of October strong, just as well as we open it up. We're going to close this door and we're going to open up another door into November. And we're going to open those doors for November and bust it clean wide open because we're going to walk in our purpose. We're going to walk in our authentic self, in our authentic self. So we're going to tap into that. So what I want you to do before we really jump in with 2 feet deep, just go ahead and take this live and go ahead and share it because I think and I know, well, I can't say I think and I know at the same time, I know that someone is going to be touched. Someone has the ability to be blessed and someone can take themselves where they presently are and take and execute like probably instantly or within the same day when they look at, what resonated with them. Like always, whatever resonates with you, just go ahead and drop it inside the chat because people come back on the replay just like we do when we go on our lives or we go on a post and we read what other people say or what other people have said about it. So again, like always, thank you and I appreciate you. All right, so for those that's watching it right now on Facebook Live, thank you. Those that's watching it on YouTube, y'all check the YouTube out too. So everybody that's watching it on Facebook, go check out the YouTube. Consistency is currency. You're able to watch the other episodes that you might have missed because this is episode 225. Episode 225. Let me go ahead and put the caption up because I want to make sure, I want to learn from you too. Will you become when it counts? That's a question. That is a question I'm proposing to you. Who will you become when it counts? That's the real question. I messed it up, but it's all right. Things happen. All right. Who will you become when it counts? Like, that's a real question. Like sitting down and asking yourself, like, who will I become when it counts? Let's go ahead and jump. All right. Can I jump? You want to jump with me? All right. Let's take it there. Who will you become? So for everybody you may be new to the platform, you're going to get definitions, you're going to get etymology, you're going to have the definition, and I'm going to flip it on you because when I say inversion, that means there is a focus that I want you to look at. Either it's white over red or red over white. White over red means look at the words that are in white. Red over white means look at the words that are in red, and then let's go. All right, so definition of become is grow to be, turn into. Grow to be, turn into. That's the definition of become. But what I really want you to focus on right now, how about let's do this? So if I say red over white or white over red, I want to learn from you. If I say red over white, like this one is red over white, that's the inversion. Come up with how you see it. Because right now we're looking at grow into. So how do you see grow into with become? Because you already know I'm come with it. and I'm going to give you my take on grow into. All right, again, definition of become. The first definition of become is grow to be, turn into. It is red over white, which is grow into. Because to become, there is a path and there is a transition that happens when you become, because you're growing into it. So that means you're coming from one space and going into another, or you're coming from one place and you're going into another. It's just like a seed. When you plant the seed inside of the flower pot, it has no other direction but to grow into what the seed was planted to be, or what the desire of the gardener, or what the desire of the farmer. If I desire to have a harvest of apples or a orchard, then I must plant a seed that will produce apples. So in order for it to grow into, I must plant it into something that is proper, or into something that is fertile, in order for it to what? Become a apple tree. Because a orchard does not become a orchard until there are what? More than one apple tree. Then it becomes an orchard. And the same thing like a forest. A forest, not a forest until there are many trees that encompasses the entire area. Or you just have a tree. So what are you growing into? Or let's dial back just a little bit. Because the origin is really the seed. Or even you can dial back some more. The origin could be the thought, right? The thought. Because if I know I want to plant this seed, in order for it to grow into something, I must have a knowledge, or I must possess the knowledge, or I must come to an agreement into what I am planting in order for it to what? Grow into. All right, the second definition that we're looking at of become is to undergo change or development. Now, I think we can flip this either way, so I'm gonna leave that up to you. We're gonna make this a lot more interactive now. Can I change it? We're gonna make it interactive. So the things that I show, I wanted you to see it how you see it, because it's I just think it just makes it make sense, and it makes it, it keeps you involved. So the definition of become is to undergo change or development. And what I'm wanting you to focus on this, the inversion that I want is white over red. Now, if you want to go with red over white, cool. Put that in the chat on why you feel you want to go red over white, and then drop that jewel or drop whatever it is that you see it, however you see it. So I'm going with undergo. I can kind of use what I communicated about with the last definition to undergo. When you become, you must undergo something. Right? So if I take this seed and I plant this seed, I am not taking the seed and I'm sitting it on the concrete in hopes that the concrete is going to allow it to grow. Because it must undergo something. So therefore it must go into something, into a fertile thought. In order for you to become something, you must undergo. It's just like you're going to school and you want to become, I don't know, a doctor, or you want to become a pediatrician or whatever. You must undergo the studies that you have to take in order for you to graduate and then be certified or qualified to have that particular title. So you must undergo something. So who will you become when you undergo the pains, and you undergo problems, and you undergo situations, and you undergo circumstances, and you undergo the trials, and you undergo those tribulations, and you undergo the weight of the world that just feels like it's not just on your shoulder, but it's beating you on the head every day. The headache, the migraine, the turmoil, and all of that stuff you're undergoing. But who will you become? How long is the beat up going to happen before you become? Undergo. That's up to you. The undergo is up to you on how the outcome is going to take place, on how the become is going to take place. Like, to undergo. Sometimes you undergo not based on something that you want it to happen, but it just so happened that you're undergoing it. But the way you grow and develop and prosper is based on how you what? React to the undergo, how you respond to the undergo. In order for you to become, you have to pay attention to what happens and what's going on and what has gone on in the undergo. And the next definition of become is to become is to evolve, change into, or emerge as something. Because in order for you to emerge as something, you must be in the undergo. Kind of jumped ahead, but let's go back. All right, to become is to evolve, change into, or emerge as something. The inversion on this is red over white. The inversion on this is red over white, which is to evolve or emerge. Because even a caterpillar, in order for the caterpillar to become the butterfly, it must what? It must evolve. But the evolvement, the to evolve doesn't take place, or it does not emerge, or it will not become a butterfly until what? Change happens. Like, to evolve. And I think a lot of times when we evolve, we allow our emotions to overcome us. So there is no evolvement at all. We may find some involvement, but we won't evolve. And like, when we plant the seed is what? It is submerged, or it has undergone, or there is an undergo that happens with the seed. So then the seed is submerged into the fertile ground, or the seed may find itself submerged into infertile ground. So there is no evolving that's going to take place until it is placed in something that is a healthy environment in order for it to evolve. And after the submerging of the seed, and it plants, and the embryo then comes out and it gets rooted, and then it does what? It begins to evolve, and then the vertical integration then takes place after that. Because to evolve is to what? To emerge is to what? It's like to move out of or away from something. Like, how many of us, in order for us to emerge, we must move out of the way? Sometimes it may be us who's in our own way. So if you are in your own way, then you will never become. That becomes your own self-sabotage. That becomes your own aha moment. That becomes your own transitional phase. You will become once you have emerged. Once you have moved out of or away from something, or to come into view, there has to be something that is inside of you that is going to have to break and evolve in order for it to come from submerging into emerge and to develop into something that is beneficial, because you have planted those seeds into beneficial ground that is going to allow the harvest to be even bigger and better than what you thought it was going to be. And the next definition of to become is to qualify or be accepted as acquire, or accepted as acquire the status of. Right? Again, it's kind of like what we spoke about before. You have somebody that want to be a doctor or a lawyer or small business owner or someone who just want to be happy. You have to acquire the status of. So in order for you to be whatever is after of, you must become that, or you must qualify yourself as that. So what we're going to look at here is the white over red, which is qualify or be as acquired. Like, I don't need you to qualify me. You don't make me become, I become, because I've qualified myself. I wanted to make this happen. So in order for this to happen, I must tell myself, or I must emerge myself or evolve myself, or to think myself through it or to it in order for me to qualify. You know what? I'm happy because I paid attention more to me. I've made my thoughts happy, or I am getting there because I know that I am qualified to get there. Like, I've been there before. I've been happy before. I have grown out of this before. Whatever it is. Like, you qualify you by your accomplishments. Same thing as if you're in school. You are qualified by your accomplishments. You are certified by your accomplishments. You have acquired, or you have assumed that responsibility, and it shows the status of based off of what you've acquired. Like, happiness is yours. Success is yours. You will assume success when you acquire what it takes to get there. All right, the next definition of become. I just had to add all these definitions because all of them are just hitting. So this definition says look good on or suit. Like, success looks good on you. Say that. Success looks good on me. I think, like, when you look in the mirror and you tell yourself that, like, man, success looks good on you. You probably smile in the mirror looking crazy as all get out. Look in the mirror and say, man, success looks good on you. Or healing looks good on you. Or that smile looks good on you. Being happy looks good on you. Being at peace looks good on you. Accomplishing that goal looks good on you. Because you might be able to accomplish more goals when you have identified those small and short victories. Like, man, that looked good on you. Being victorious looks good on you. Being at peace looks good on you. And you're suited for it. Why? Because you can. You can become because it looks good on you. All right, so let's go into the etymology. And when I was looking at the etymology, I was like, wow, that's deep. So the etymology of become, it says the Old English becoming, whatever that means, whatever. Then it says come to place, come. Like, when you become, you're really coming to a place. Like if you're coming from a place of hurt and then you become healed, you're coming to a place because you're coming from somewhere to somewhere. So who will you become? Like what place do you desire to be? Like whether it's to be in your life spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, or somewhere a place. Like I want to be in a new house before January, whatever it is. Like who are you going to become? Like you're going to become someone who's more financially aware on how you spend, or you're going to be someone that is whatever it is. Like what place are you going to come to? It may have to come to an aha moment for you. Like, man, I know I can't have this house until I do this. I know I can't have this car until I do this. I know I can't be happy. I can't come to this place of peace until I do this, or until I acknowledge this, or until I evolve, or until I emerge out of this submersion that I found myself in, or this thing that I have undergone. Until I come out of it, I won't be, or I won't come to this place. And that's completely up to you. Like, who will you become? And it then begins to break down become. And I want you to pay attention to this. Like when these two words come together, it breaks it down, and it really created an aha moment for me. So the be or become is the word forming element of verbs. And when these two words come together, it is about about around thoroughly, right? You can't become something until you thoroughly understand where you're coming from and where you're going. Completely. It's you can't become completely until you recognize what it is to be complete, or what it is that you're focusing on, or what it is, or what direction that you're going to make, to cause, to sing, to provide with, at, on, to, or for. And then when you bring be and you put it to come, is the old English coming. Like I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to look it up. CUMAN. Like what's the origin and what does it really means? And the definition, when this word old English comes with the word be, to move with the purpose of reaching, or so as to reach some point, to arrive by movement or progression. So I kind of took this and I threw some inversions out there. And the version is white over red, which is to move with the purpose of reaching. Like, who will you become? Like, at what purpose do you have to reach? So therefore, I move with the purpose of reaching this particular goal, or I move with the purpose of reaching this particular standard, or I move with the purpose of reaching this place that I want to be in. And I'm only going to reach it when I arrive by progression. It's kind of like what we spoke about last week. Progression is what? It's not a carnal direction. So progression is not, I'm going to turn left and that's how I'm going to get there, or I'm going to turn right. That's how I'm going to get there. But me moving and arriving with progression, it means that I am going to get there by doing the work that is required of me to get there, and of acquiring myself to absorb the lessons that I've learned in order for me to get to that place that I want to go. That's today's question. Like, Who will you put deep down and in this so you can get your more actively? So sometimes we can abandon our own goals because we may feel like our expectations are unreasonable. So we won't become because we may feel some sort of fear, or we may feel like, well, I can't do this. I can't become this because nobody else in my family has been this, or nobody else in my circle has accomplished this. That shouldn't be your concern. Don't abandon your goals based on the feelings of your expectations that you think is unreasonable because nobody else has done it. You do it. You execute it. You assume the responsibility of being the first. It's not someone else's responsibility. It's yours, because if the vision was given to you, then I need you to visualize yourself already being there. I need you to visualize yourself having to become. Don't you know your expectations change when you become? It does. It's like if you say, I want to become $1,000 richer by 1 December, and you become $1,000 richer. You do whatever it takes. You're selling products, or you're selling services, whatever your business is. And then when you actually reach that goal by 1 December to have this monetary gain of $10,000, you're going to change your expectations. Why? Because the thought that you have, and you have emerged yourself into the process. And then when you celebrate that victory, your expectations are going to change. Now you're going to be like, man, if I did this from now until December 1st, what can I do by January? Because your expectations have changed when you become. Life treats you differently when you become. Life treats you different when you execute your purpose, because you've accomplished that thing and you want to duplicate it and do it over and over again because you have become. I mean, even during moments like I've tried, and I've been trying to do it, and every time I try to do it, it just seems like it don't get right, or it seems like I just keep falling. That's when you have to recommit yourself to your goals, even if you slip up. Like, even if you slip up, don't give up. Even if you feel that you've become afraid, don't give up. Because remember, fear is only a result to the process of thought. It is only a response to how you were thinking at that particular time. It is not something that you have to live with, but the thoughts that you've had, that thoughts that you have emerged from that thought process, that is the only thing that you have to look at that has changed. I've changed the way I have been thinking about it. So therefore, if I'm ever going to become something different, then I must change the way that I think. And then forgive yourself, and then make a plan on getting back on track in order for you to become that which what you want to become. Like, who will you become when your back is against the wall? Who will you become when life seems like it's hard and everything is just hitting you all at once? That's like your responsibility. It's like, what are you doing with the responsibility? But who will you become? Yeah, Queenie said, stop stopping yourself. And that's true. A lot of times we stop ourselves out of fear. We stop ourselves out of real life situations because we already know life is going to happen. Like, life is going to happen when life happens. But when life happens, acknowledge it, look at it, examine it, look at what your role that you have taken when life happens, and give it life. When life happens, give it life. Like, change your thoughts and give it new life. Write it down, being honest about what you're writing down, being transparent about what you're writing down, and give it a new life. Yeah, take it by the horns and ride it. Because it's going to take you for a ride if you don't ride it. It's going to put you in situations and circumstances that you're going to have to find or climb or emerge your way out of, because you have been so submerged in your pain and your turmoil and your situations and your circumstances. So when you begin to emerge out of it, there's going to be a new life, and there's going to be a newness that you're developing, because you have learned the process of how to emerge out of a submerged situation. All right, that's all I got. But hey, it's Monday, and I pray that your week will be beautiful, bountiful, and blessed, and reap the harvest that you so choose to have. And I already proposed tomorrow's conversation. We're going to be talking about the key to life. I was talking with my son this past weekend, and I had asked him, I was like, so what do you think the key to life is? He gave me some wild response, but the key to life we're going to be talking about tomorrow. But hey, I hope y'all be blessed and enjoy the rest of your day and start your week off strong. Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. Y'all be blessed. Peace.